she walked into the room. You felt it, that pull. That split-second chemical storm behind your eyes. And then, within 3 seconds, it was already decided. Not by your heart, not by your intentions, not by how funny, kind, or successful you are. By something far older than you, far darker than anyone wants to admit. What you're about to hear is going to make you uncomfortable. It will challenge everything dating coaches, romance movies, and your well-meaning friends have ever told you. But it's the truth. And the truth, as brutal as it is the only thing that will actually set you free. Welcome. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to one thing: telling you the truth about the human mind, even when the truth is uncomfortable. Today, we're going deep into modern attraction. Why you're drawn to certain people. Why logic has almost nothing to do with it. Why so many smart, good people are chronically overlooked. And what evolutionary psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science actually say about why love works the way it does in 2025. This is not a video telling you to love yourself and everything will fall into place. This is a video that shows you what's actually happening inside the human brain during attraction and what you can do with that information. Stay until the end. Because the final piece is the one nobody talks about, and it might be the most important thing you hear all year. The man nobody noticed until he did one thing. His name was Daniel. 32 years old, software engineer. Decent job, own apartment, genuinely kind to everyone he met. And for 6 years, Daniel was invisible to women. Not because he was ugly, not because he was broke, not because he was cruel, was simply forgettable. He had done everything society told him to do. He went to the gym. He built a career. He was polite, attentive, always asked thoughtful questions on dates. And yet, within hours of meeting someone he genuinely liked, they would categorize him. Not as a romantic option, as a friend. Daniel started to believe the problem was him, that something was fundamentally broken in who he was. He spent thousands of dollars on dating coaches, memorized conversation scripts, read every book on charisma. Nothing worked. Until one evening, almost by accident, everything changed. He was at a gathering, talking to a woman named Lena, and instead of performing his usual routine of questions, compliments, and careful conversation, he was just tired. He didn't have the energy to impress her, so he said something honest, something a little uncomfortable. He disagreed with her opinion about something directly, calmly, without apology. Lena paused, and something shifted in her face. She leaned in. Not because Daniel had suddenly become better looking, or wealthier, or more successful, but because for the first time, his brain had stopped performing attraction and started triggering it. What happened in that moment has a scientific name, and understanding it will change how you see every interaction you've ever had. What attraction actually is, and why it has nothing to do with fairness. Here is the brutal truth that most people cannot bring themselves to accept. Attraction is not a choice. It is a biological program written over 200,000 years of human evolution, running in the background of every social interaction you have ever been part of. Let's break it down. Truth number 1. Your brain decides in milliseconds before you're consciously aware. Research from Princeton University showed that people form judgments about others in as little as 1/10 of a second, and those snap judgments are remarkably stable, even when given more time. This is your brain's ancient threat and opportunity detection system, firing before your conscious mind has even loaded the scene. What is it scanning for? Not income, not kindness, not compatibility. It's scanning for signals of genetic fitness, social status, and psychological dominance. Because in the ancestral environment, the world your brain was built for, these signals predicted survival. And the brain that ignored them didn't pass on its genes. You are the descendant of every human who successfully attracted a mate, and the rules they played by are still running your software. Truth number 2. Status is more attractive than any physical feature. Here is what decades of attraction research has consistently found. In both men and women, perceived status is one of the most powerful attraction triggers that exists. And status, this is critical, is not about your actual job title or bank account. It is about how you carry yourself, how you speak, how much space you take up, whether you need external validation to feel secure. A 2016 study published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society found that men who were perceived as higher status were rated significantly more attractive even when their physical appearance was held constant. This is why a confident, grounded person in an average outfit often outperforms a nervous, approval-seeking person in a designer suit. Your brain broadcasts your status constantly through micro-expressions, vocal tonality, posture, eye contact, and the way you respond to social pressure. And other brains pick this up automatically, unconsciously, before a word is spoken. This is what happened with Daniel, when he stopped seeking Lena's approval when he spoke his mind without apologizing for it. His brain stopped broadcasting low-status signals, and her ancient attraction circuitry responded accordingly. Truth number 3. The paradox of perceived value here is one of the most counterintuitive findings in all of attraction psychology. The more effort you put into being liked, the less attractive you become. This is called the overexertion paradox, and it is devastating to understand in hindsight. When you are constantly available, endlessly accommodating, quick to compliment, and slow to challenge, you are unconsciously communicating one thing to the other person's brain: I believe you are more valuable than I am. And the human brain, particularly during initial attraction, interprets this as a red flag. Not because the person is cruel, not because they want to be treated badly, but because the brain is running a calculation. If this person is so eager for my approval, what does that say about their options? About their desirability to others? Scarcity signals value. Availability signals desperation. This is not fair, but it is real. Truth number 4. Women and men are attracted to fundamentally different signals, and pretending otherwise hurts everyone. Before we go, hear a note. We are talking about statistical tendencies rooted in evolutionary biology, not rules, not cages. Individual variation is enormous, but the patterns are consistent enough that ignoring them is choosing to stay confused. Research across more than 37 cultures, conducted by evolutionary psychologist David Buss, found consistent patterns in what each sex prioritizes in a potential partner. Women, on average, place significantly more weight on resource acquisition, ambition, status, and emotional stability. These signals, in the ancestral environment, predicted a partner who could provide and protect. Men, on average, place more weight on physical indicators of fertility and health symmetry, youth markers, waist-to-hip ratio. These signals predicted reproductive success. Neither preference is shallow. Both are ancient. The problem arises when we build our romantic strategy around what we think should matter, rather than what the brain of the person we're attracted to is actually responding to. Truth number 5. Emotional safety is the final unlock, and almost nobody gets here. Here is where most psychology content stops, and here is where we go further. Because everything we've discussed so far, status signals, perceived value, evolutionary drives, that is the door. It gets you noticed. It creates initial attraction. It keeps someone from mentally filing you in the wrong category in the first 3 seconds. But it is not the whole picture. Research on long-term attraction, what makes people stay, tells a different story. Psychologist John Gottman, after studying hundreds of couples over decades, found that the single greatest predictor of lasting attraction and relationship success was something called emotional attunement, the ability to recognize, honor, and respond to your partner's emotional state. Not dominance, not mystery, not game playing. The ability to make someone feel genuinely seen without needing to perform, impress, or protect yourself from vulnerability. This is the brutal paradox at the heart of modern attraction. To create it, you must appear not to need it. To sustain it, you must be willing to need it completely. The people who master both, who have genuine self-worth and genuine emotional openness, are almost irresistibly attractive to almost anyone, and they are extraordinarily rare. The real problem with modern dating now, let's talk about why this is harder than ever. Modern dating has done something that has never happened in human history before. It has taken the ancient attraction system built for small tribes, face-to-face interaction, and slow courtship, and placed it inside an infinite scroll of options, algorithmically optimized to trigger insecurity, comparison, and dopamine dependency. The result? Chronic loneliness at record levels. A generation of people who are more connected than ever and more romantically isolated than any generation before them. Dating apps have given us the illusion of abundance while quietly destroying our ability to tolerate the slow, uncertain, real process of attraction. Swiping for 2 hours is not the same as making eye contact across a room. Texting for 3 days is not the same as 30 minutes of uninterrupted conversation. And the anxious, performance-driven way most people date online, constantly auditioning, constantly wondering if something better is one swipe away, is the exact opposite of the calm, grounded presence that actually triggers attraction. The algorithm is not your matchmaker. It is a slot machine, and most people are losing. The good news? Understanding the game is the first step to playing it differently. The practical truth: so, what do you actually do? 3 things, and they are simple, not easy, but simple. 1. Stop performing. Start inhabiting. The most attractive version of you is not a constructed persona. It is the version of you that is so comfortable in its own skin that it has nothing to prove. This means speak your actual opinions. Disagree when you disagree. Take up space. Move slowly. Let silences exist. Stop filling every quiet moment with nervous energy. Your nervous system is broadcasting constantly. Train it to broadcast security. TWO. Rebuild your relationship with rejection. Rejection is not a verdict on your worth. It is data about compatibility, nothing more. The people who are most attractive are the people who can handle no without collapsing, because they know their value is not located in someone else's response to them. Every time you survive a rejection without shrinking, you become slightly more of the person who rarely gets rejected. 3. Get off the apps. Get into the world. This is not nostalgia. This is neuroscience. In-person interaction activates mirror neurons, vocal tone processing, pheromone detection, and full body language reading, all the ancient systems that apps completely bypass. You are not going to find depth on a platform designed to make you swipe faster. Put the phone down. Show up in real spaces. Be the most present person in the room. Presence is the rarest and most attractive thing left in the modern world. Daniel and Lena dated for 7 months. It didn't last forever, but it was real. And for the first time in 6 years, Daniel understood something. He had never been broken. He'd simply been playing by rules that no one had ever explained to him. The brutal truth about modern attraction is this: your brain is ancient. The world is new, and almost nobody is teaching you how to bridge that gap. But now you know. What you do with it is entirely up to you. If this video made you think differently about something about yourself, about attraction, about the way you've been showing up, hit like. It tells the algorithm this kind of content is worth sharing. Subscribe if you want more psychology content that doesn't waste your time with comfortable lies. And in the comments, I want to know, what was the one thing in this video that hit differently? Drop it below. I read every single one.